Hey everybody, it's Van Time with Chuck and Deb, and today we want to talk about our time in Kerrville where we did a 4 fields intensive training. Okay, so hon, that was a fantastic time in Kerrville. What did we train them on?
Well, basically an intensive is looking at the 4 fields, how Jesus did ministry. Field 1 is going to places where there are people that don't know about Jesus. And then 2nd is sharing the gospel with them. 3rd is helping them grow by discipleship. And 4th is gathering them, planting churches, and then talking about leadership development.
Awesome. So we went through the Gospel of Luke, a few chapters. We went through the book of Acts, a few chapters, just looking for the patterns of Jesus, and then Paul following those patterns. And we went through John 15. We taught them how to share the gospel. It was a great time. It was intense. It's called intensive for a reason. So it was very intense. But we have 3 highlights from our training there. And the first one is Darren Millar. He's a pastor up in Kerrville, and he's just one hungry dude and very faithful. He's a great disciple of Jesus. And he's been at this for about 2 years. But we left, he was a little bit discouraged because the disparity between where he is and where he wants to be, no place left Kerrville, is so great. But you know what? He needs to be very encouraged because, yeah, we almost got hit by a car. He needs to be very encouraged because he's doing what Jesus has called him to do. He's a very good disciple. And what's another highlight?
Another highlight was Chad from McAllen in the Valley was there. He's a pastor, a missions pastor at his church, and he has kind of heard a little bit about how to plant churches from Jeff and Joy Velasquez.
Yeah.
And they did a good job of casting vision for that in their area, and so he came, and I think he was really encouraged and walked away with some tools that will be very helpful. And
yeah, he and Darren are Fourth Soil guys, and anytime you see Fourth Soil, boy, you want to throw some water and fertilizer on those guys. Another thing that happened though is we went out on a House of Peace search, and we found a couple of houses where we found believers that were willing to be trained in the gospel, which is cool. So we trained them in 411 right there on the spot. But Deb had an opportunity to lead 3 teenagers, gals, to Christ. Hun, how did that happen?
So Chad and Sarah and I were together, and we were going down this one neighborhood street, and we were praying and knocking on doors, asking people if we could pray for them, if they had any needs, and then praying with them and sharing the gospel. And there were 3 gals, Alyssa, Latrice, and Marissa, who were walking down the street. And so we, asked them, told them we were walking around praying for people in the neighborhood. And Marissa had a request. Her grandfather was going to have surgery the next week. So we prayed right there for her grandfather, and then shared the gospel and asked the girls if they had ever asked Jesus to forgive them and made him their king, and they hadn't, and if they were interested in doing that, and they said that they were. So we shared Matthew 28:18-20, the Great Commission, with them, and talked about the next step, is to be baptized and to learn Jesus's commands, and so fortunately Sarah was with us, and Sarah is from Kerrville, so she was able to get Latrice's information, and she's going to follow up on the gals and help disciple them.
That's cool. So you might be wondering, why in the world are we traveling an hour and a half, spending our own money to stay in a hotel and train 8 people? Well, I'll tell you, because guys like Darren Millar and Chad are worth it. They're 4 soul men, and we're looking for 4 soul men and women that we can invest our lives in so that they can advance the kingdom of God. So, if you like our update, pass it on to somebody else. Subscribe over there in the corner, and until next time, keep making disciples until they're